There's no such thing as a dream agent, and no agent is better than a bad agent. My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. I recently made a video in which I advised against anybody saying that they had a dream agent. Oftentimes, when people are talking about a dream literary agent, they are actually just referring to somebody who is online kind of a lot, and that is not always equal to success as a literary agent. Plenty of successful literary agents are very active online, but it is not a one-to-one correlation. And so you need to look at all of the things that make an agent successful before you decide whether or not this is somebody that you want to query. So you're looking at sales record, how long they've been in the industry, what their apprenticeship and mentorship has looked like within the industry, what relationships they have with their clients, what type of books are they selling. All of those things are the things that are going to help you make this decision. It is not about whether or not they are online, whether or not you think you are a personality fit. All of those things that go into making like somebody feel like a dream agent are usually not that important. But this commenter came in and said something that is also a very, very common sentiment. It says, my dream agent is whatever agent wants to sell my book. And I would also caution you against that sort of thinking, where people start thinking like, well, anybody who wants to work with me must be the right person for me. And I am here to tell you that a bad agent can set your career back by years and years. Let's say that you are querying and it is not going well, and then you finally get an offer of representation, but you've been rejected like 217 times, and this is really sort of your last chance on this book in order to get an offer of representation. So you jump at it, even though you ignore a couple of red flags, or you're not entirely sure that this person is going to be able to sell your book, but they said that they want to help you sell your book, so they must be the right agent for you, right? But if they don't have the right type of connections in the industry and they don't have the organizational skills to be a literary agent, or they are kind of being misleading about what it is they are capable of doing, or they submit your work only at places that you don't want to work at and you guys cannot agree on what the vision for your career is going to be, this can set you back by years, because the editorial process going back and forth with this agent is going to take a few months in the most optimistic time frame, and then they are going to draw up a list of submissions, and then they are going to create their pitch materials, and then they're going to start submitting your book to editors. And on the quick end, it will take a year for your book to die on submission or to get a deal offer. Yes, there are very occasionally people who do this much faster, but there are also people who do it much, 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 much slower. So we're going to say a year, but you have already done all of the editorial work with this agent. So you are now 18 months deep on this book. And so if that book dies on submission, but you said, you know what, the good agent for me is the one who wants to sell my book. This agent wants to try again with the next book. So you do another round of edits back and forth, and then you do another round of submissions. So you're now 3 years deep on this without anything to show for it. And then you realize that this agent hasn't made any sales during this time, and the people that they work with are making sales only at digital only imprints and at places that take unagented submissions. And so you start to get a bad feeling. But you know, you've sunk all of this time into this relationship, and you said the agent who is the one for me is the one who wants to sell my book. So you do it again, and now you are 4.5 years deep on this. And then you have to start having some difficult conversations and say, you know what, I don't actually think this is working. And so now you need to break up with that agent and you need to start querying again, except every single book that you have written has already died on submission. You can't start querying with those. Those ones have died on submission. So you need to start over. You need to write another book. You need to start over at the beginning, and then you start querying again. You go through the entire process again. Having a bad agent, an agent who is not well connected in the industry, an agent who has not had the mentorship that is necessary for this business, an agent who doesn't know what they are doing, can set you back by years or even a decade. Where if you look at this agent, the only person who wanted to offer you representation, and they were the last on your list, and you had all these red flags and you had a bad feeling in your gut, and you said, you know what, thank you so much for this offer of representation, but I'm going to go a different direction. Yes, you still have to start over and you have to start querying again, but you could have a good agent on your side in another year rather than waiting 4 or 5 or 6 years because you have this sunk cost feeling of going with the agent who you said was going to be the person for you, because the only thing you needed was someone who wanted to sell your book. Yes, you need somebody who wants to sell your book. You need somebody who believes in you and believes in your work, but you also need somebody who has the connections and the skills to be able to do that. A brand new agent is totally fine. You might have an agent who has never made a sale before. That is totally legitimate and absolutely okay. They should be working at an established agency with other agents who have made sales and do have connections and are mentoring them through the process. A brand new agent with no connections in the industry, no sales history, no mentorship, that is a major, major red flag. And no agent is better than a bad agent.